What I love about being a pediatric nurse is the kids. As soon as they listen. I work with kids from days old all the way up to late adolescence. Kids are just so resilient. After you've had to get blood or put in an IV, they're just so scared of you. But then you have that one moment where they look at you and they give you a smile and it's like everything is okay. And that feels really special.
Forensic nurses provide service 24/7 for victims of sexual and domestic violence. They're critical to the justice system because they are trained to specifically gather criminal evidence during their examinations to assess the injuries.
We serve all types of victims of violence, not just one population. We serve children and adults and elderly people.
Just started working here and it still feels unreal. There are people with unusual behaviors and I'm not quite sure how to react. I feel very sad for them because mental illness actually makes them unaware of how they are behaving.
I'm not crazy, you know? You are crazy, you are crazy. I'm not crazy. Right now.
I want to become a missionary nurse, and so it was good just to be able to see what that looks like on the mission field, being able to put my nursing skills into action with missions. And while we were there, we did so many things in such a short amount of time. We were able to go to a hospital and pray over babies and their families. We were able to go to a refugee camp that was really secluded that we wouldn't have been able to go into without our medical experience. We were able to go into a village where actually a HLG alumni, Ina, works in and has a ministry there. And we were also able to go to an orphanage and just play with some kids and just show them Christ's love.
Nurses know what other nurses go through. It's a rough job. It's hard. I give kudos to all my nurses for being able to do what they can do because I was only able to do it for like 7 years before I was like, oh my God, get me to an office.
I decided to do travel nursing mainly because I'm kind of a free spirit, so I like to be out and about and checking out new things all the time.
The relationship that you would have with any traveler is the most important thing.
It was just me. I didn't have a friend or someone that I could turn to. Basically, my job was in their hands.
To feel that you're confident in your recruiter skills is everything. I looked into travel when I was a nurse in the past, and I talked to people, I'm like, God, you don't even know what I do. You know what I mean? From a day-to-day basis, how am I going to be confident that when I go to the assignment, everything's going to be just as I expect it to be?
Being away from my family, that had to be the hardest thing for me.
As commissioned members of the Canadian Forces, nursing officers are leading members of Canada's world-class military healthcare team, with responsibilities that are far more varied and challenging than most nurses will find in a civilian hospital or clinical career.
We serve in traditional nursing roles at bases across Canada, in outpatient clinics, and on rotation at major civilian hospitals.
But what sets us apart is that we also deploy with our troops overseas and care for their physical and emotional needs when they return.
We get a lot of car accidents, gunshot wounds, stab wounds. We don't know what's coming in. We don't know what shape they're in. We don't know if they're under the influence of drugs or alcohol. There's no time really for freaking out, or else that patient could be severely impacted. I'm Jennifer Dukes. I'm a level 1 trauma nurse, and this is my life.
It's amazing. I mean, you do stuff in this job where you just don't, you don't see in the hospital, you don't see anywhere else. You know, now I do want to say that with a little bit of a side note, saying I'm really doing the same job that I do in the ICU, in this helicopter, or in the truck, or in the fixed wing airplane. You know, I'm really doing the same job. I'm just doing it on the move. You know, what's cool about this job is we are seen as kind of the extension of the ICU. So we're not just the transport team. And the experience that we come with and that my coworkers bring, wow. You know, it's an amazing level of care that the patient enters into when we are able to make contact with the patient. There is a lot of autonomy in this profession, and especially in Lifeline. We're kind of required to make a lot of decisions on the spot without the help of a physician sometimes, and get to a hospital and see the patient, and we make decisions there and start treating there.
I'm going to be asking you some medical questions. Do you have any major medical problems that we should know about? I could see your arm. Asthma, high blood pressure, diabetes, seizures.
For Lisa Poisina, this is a great environment to practice nursing. She says she has a lot of autonomy, and her patients, for the most part, are appreciative of her efforts. In fact, she has held her current position for the past 11 years, and she has no plans to leave.
Left hand in the pocket and get the right hand. I'm not sure it's. Yes, put your hands in your pockets, walking down the red line for me.
Nurses like Poisina spend 40 hours a week inside the walls of the San Diego Central Jail, and they play a key role in the booking process.